What is the main argument that the prosecutors are making here?
Yeah, I'm going to get into it, but I just want to say that this is make or break for both sides, because we've heard all this disparate testimony over the last weeks where one witness talks about sex trafficking and one witness talks about coercion, and then somebody talks about racketeering. And this is the time in closing arguments where each side has to tell a story, to put it all together in one very tight package. And what the prosecution is saying is this. They are saying that the core of this case is sex trafficking, and that Diddy was a sex trafficker, and he became a racketeer to further sex trafficking by doing all sorts of illegal things, particularly involving the two alleged victims here, Jane and Cassie. He talks about, the prosecutor talked about 3 instances where Jane was coerced, they say, into having freak-offs with Diddy, where Cassie was forced as well, where Diddy manipulated them by paying their rent and other expenses, threatening to then cut it off if they didn't participate. They talked about violence. They made it clear all the jury has to do is find one example of force, fraud, or coercion, and they can find him guilty of sex trafficking. Similarly, they said with racketeering, Diddy did all sorts of things. He kidnapped somebody that he thought stole his jewelry, somebody who worked for him. He blew up Kid Cudi's car out of a fit of jealousy, or had people do it. He had people go get him drugs and do other various things. And they're saying all you have to do is show 2 of those and you can prove racketeering. So what they're saying to the jury is, we can make this really easy for you. Find one incident of force, fraud, or force or coercion when it comes to Cassie or Jane, and then find him guilty of sex trafficking. Find 2 examples of where you use somebody to further a criminal enterprise, and you got racketeering. And that's the essence of their case.
Yeah, and then there's a third thing, the Mann Act, which is even sort of simpler, which is basically transporting somebody across state lines for the purpose of sex. Meanwhile,
yeah, that's their strongest. That's their strongest one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the defense, when they get up there, that word coercion is something they're going to challenge, right?
Oh, yeah. They're going to say it starts with a C, but it's consent, not coercion. And they're going to point to various text messages that Jane and Cassie sent to Diddy, saying they were down with all of this, that they liked it, letters that were written, statements that were made. They're going to say that Cassie made a deal, essentially, that she wanted to be a recording star, and this is the music business, and she knew what she was getting into. She did it out of free will. And fundamentally, what they're going to say, Elex, is this is bedroom police. They are going to say that essentially they have gone into Diddy's bedroom and they are trying to send him to prison for life for kinky things that he did behind closed doors in his home, which is why they're going to say they're bringing up baby oil. There's nothing illegal about baby oil, but that's, if you have to talk about one thing that everybody remembers, they're going to talk about, everybody was talking about baby oil. So what does that have to do with sex trafficking? They're going to say this was just a salacious way of getting Sean Diddy Combs.
You have a gut feeling about where this goes?
Absolutely not. The only thing I can say is I can't imagine, given what I'm hearing on the outside, that this jury is going to come together immediately. That it just seems like there may be some people who believe, wait a minute, this does kind of feel like bedroom police. There are other people who are going to say, I saw the Cassie beating video, that's it for me. And there are all sorts of other views. So yeah, I just can't imagine they're going to be unified going in. The question is, can they become unified? And it's possible they'll become unified on all of the charges, some of the charges, or none of the charges.
Right.
And I can't predict that. I just don't know.
And you guys did a documentary where you brought together a mock jury, and they split on some of the charges. They were not
They
unified
split on
all
racketeering and sex trafficking, found him guilty on the Mann Act.
Right, which is what most likely he'll be convicted of, if he's convicted of something. Well, who knows? Meanwhile, other side of the world, better news, at least if you're Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos. They're all over Venice. We see all the big stars. You guys kind of have the scoop on what's happening here. What do we know about this weekend, and what have you guys learned about it?
So it's a minimum $10 million weekend, which is nothing for Jeff Bezos, obviously, but it is going to be wild. So we know that, I'm trying to think of the days now, that today in Venice, now it's actually tomorrow in Venice, but today, the guests, when we're talking about Oprah Winfrey, Kim Kardashian, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie, they're all there. Orlando Bloom, Tom Brady, Magic Johnson, David Geffen, Barry Diller, all sorts of people. They either went and hung out in the city having breakfast, or they went to this swanky hotel called the Cipriani, where they hung out by the pool. Tonight at 7:30, tonight's already passed in Venice, but at 7:30, the guests were told to go to a dock, we're told, and meet boats that were going to take them to another island. They had no idea which island it even was, where they had to surrender their cell phones. That's how secretive this is, that the guests didn't even know where. But tomorrow, I believe they're having the pajama party. They're going to have a Gatsby cocktail party, and then the wedding is Saturday. And a little more color.
They're literally doing Great Gatsby. They're
doing great. They're doing the Gatsby cocktail party.
Just go for it, baby.
No. And I got to tell you, I talked to one of the guests, who's a very famous guy who you know, but I'm not going to say who it is. And he was like, oh God, he said, my wife's making me pack all this stuff and I had to go to a tailor for pajamas and a tailor for this Gatsby thing. And so all the guys are kind of grousing about it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. There is somebody there who is ready to party. And it's Orlando Bloom. We broke the story that he is now single. He is split from Katy Perry.
It's official. They're done.
Done.
Wow.
And he is there to have a good time. I am told there is a very good chance he and Leo DiCaprio, who's also there, they're going to go bar crawling. Sounds like really sad. Well, I'll put it this way. Somebody who's there told me this. 90% of the people are kind of boring, but 10% are a party. And one of those 10%, I'm told, is Jeff Bezos.
Oh. Well, all worked out for him, I guess. Harvey, thank you. Somehow you didn't get an invite. I don't know how that happened.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, but thank you.
Well, Lauren worked for you guys.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I don't know. But thank you for all the invites to appear on TMZ Live recently. It's been a lot of fun.
It's our pleasure.
I miss you, and it's weird talking to you in a suit. I've gotten used to doing it in the T-shirt.
I know.
Thanks.
Loosen up, man.
Thanks, Harvey.